This video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Humanity, look how far you've fallen.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and fury of anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki. Good morning. What are you giggling already? The show hasn't even started yet. You're giggling in the green room. What the hell is going on? If it's one hell of a chaotic morning, it's of course going to be chaos because we have Eris of Chaos on the show this morning. Good morning.
Oh my god. I was laughing at your laugh at the end of that. It took me, I don't know, I was focusing on tweeting out the stream. And I just heard this
Well, good morning, everyone. We, of course, have the giggling Eris of Chaos, not the frightening, not the crazy. It's the giggling Eris of Chaos this morning. No terrifying. Again, good morning. Good morning to Sagadorp 9. Good morning to Kesha Queen. Good morning to Purple Valkyrie. Good morning to Dead Man Walking 55. Mark the Impotently Tired and Chris Persia, the Bash Brother Wrenches are here. The Catman, aka Dee Myers Loki. I think you broke Eris of Chaos once again. I bet I did.
I'm just drinking water, Chris.
Larry. Good morning, Larry. Oh, how are you all doing this morning? I hope you guys are all having a great morning. Arwen Avalon, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Adega Outlaw, the Doctor of Disaster and Destruction, is here, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew, 46 and 2, good morning. Good morning, everyone. If I missed anybody, I'm so sorry.
Mark is already giving me shit. God
damn
it.
That's it. Right. That's right. That's his job. Mark's job is to give everybody shit and to get tased. Dave G Sound. Good morning, Dave. How are you all doing? I hope you guys are having a great week so far. It is hump day. It is Wednesday. We are halfway through the week. And what better way to celebrate that than to have a conversation with chaos? So tell us all, Eris of Chaos, what got you into fandom as a whole? Not just this fandom, but as a whole, what got you into the fandom?
Like any specific, like my first fandom?
Your first fandom, yes.
Okay, so the first fandom I can remember joining, and this one I went hard in for like years, was the Justice League animated and Unlimited series. I read so much fan fiction. That was middle school. Eris was reading all the fan fiction when it came to that. So what can I say? I absolutely love that fandom. I don't know if I ever actually talked to anyone about it besides my brother, my parents, who were happy I liked something, but didn't really care that, what it was. They're like, oh, she's happy, good, excellent.
I've got a question for you. Gun Bunny asks, what is the image on your shirt?
Hold on. So it's Hellsing Ultimate. This is Alucard. I love Alucard. Hellsing Ultimate's my favorite anime of all time. Technically, it's an OVA if you want to get super specific, but I consider it an anime because the anime version of Hellsing is dog shit. So it is the official one. But yeah, I got this at what was it? San Japan 2019. I saw this shirt and I was like, I must have this. I have to.
Mark said, yeah, you stole a comic book.
What the hell did I steal?
I don't know, but Mark says you stole a comic book.
Mark, I require more information. Police girl! Bitches love cannons. Yes, if you have not watched the Hellsing Abridged on, what is it? 4-Star? Team 4-Star's channel, go watch that. That will make you laugh. So. Does Rob Dyke know you raided his prop closet? That's rude. How did you know that I liked Rob Dyke? That's rude. I love him too. I loved his "Why Would You Put That on the Internet" series. It was amazing.
So what got you into the YouTube scene? What brought you to YouTube?
Okay, so this is a fun story. I was watching Doctor Who. I had clawed my way through the end of Capaldi's era. Which anyone who's watched the end of Capaldi's era knows it's like unbearable. And I'm not even talking about Bill, actually. Because everyone forgets that Bill existed. But I'm talking about the end, the last series with him and Clara in it. It is so dog shit. It is awful. You have to just, if you want to watch it all, you got to just, or get to make our way through this, because she becomes like this unbearable godlike creature, and he spends like 2 billion years trying to get back to her. It's stupid. He's never given a shit about a companion more than her, apparently, for some fucking reason. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give 13 a chance. I know people are giving her shit that she's a woman, but I mean, technically, you can have the Doctor as a woman because they can switch genders and whatever when they regenerate. I was like, maybe, 13's my favorite number. Like, surely it wouldn't be dog shit. It was absolute dog shit. I watched that first episode and it was so bad. And then I found myself like making excuses for her. Like, oh, maybe it's her first time. It's her first time. She doesn't know what she's doing. And then I rewatched The 11th Hour and I was just like, oh, that's what a competent actor looks like. Because that was Matt Smith's first time being the Doctor on the screen. And he knocked it out of the park. That's one of my favorite Doctor Who episodes of all time. Like, he kicked ass. And I would say Tin's first time too was pretty kick ass. I hate Rose, so I watched 9 with that, like gritting my teeth, trying to like bear the awfulness. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track. And after watching that episode, I was like, surely, I'm not crazy, right? This was awful. I can't stand a thick wall. God damn it, Pat says. Like, surely that wasn't as awful as I thought. Like, I think I fell asleep twice watching that thing. It was so boring. It was bland. Like, the Doctor herself was uninteresting. She tried to do the quirky thing that Matt Smith does, and Matt Smith's my favorite Doctor. But she failed because she wasn't charming at all. Matt Smith is very charming. Like, I don't know how you hire someone with no charisma to play the Doctor, which is, that's kind of embarrassing. Yes, thank you, Purple. Yes, Peter Capaldi easily could have been one of the best Doctors. I think he might have even ended up being my second. He might have bypassed 10 in my book had he not been fucked over by the awful writing. God, what they did to Capaldi was awful. Anyway, so I go to YouTube because I'm a millennial. And I I type in, I'm like, Doctor Who, what is it, season 1, season 11, I think, or series 11, episode 1 reviews. And I found this little channel, and some of y'all, especially in the Doctor Who community, probably know his name. I found Bullstrick. And
I know Bullstrick.
Absolutely love Bullstrick. Like, I think Gary called it, what is it, piss and vinegar, I think is what he calls his content. And it's like, I loved it because I realized that I was in shock, and then I got mad. I was like, this is our new Doctor. This was her entrance episode. You gotta fucking like nail it on that entrance episode as the Doctor, the new Doctor, especially when you have everything working against you, right? Yeah, you have a lot of people doubting because you're the first female Doctor and all this shit, and you brought fucking mediocre 3 out of 10 levels to the table. You gotta knock that shit out of the park with like a 20. All right, it was embarrassing, and I felt very like sane that I had like okay, this isn't just me, you know. And then I kept looking, and let's see. I was a big lurker for months. I had been around in the fandom since like December. But I didn't comment. I didn't like to hop on live streams and comment, you know. I was very, very low-key. Yes, that is a pun that I totally didn't. I kind of lurked around. Because I'm a big introvert. I know it's kind of hard to believe, but like I'm very, very shy, especially when meeting new people. And the idea that one of these people I was kind of looking up to would notice me and say anything, and especially if I said something embarrassing, like I didn't want to deal with that. So around September of 2019, December 2018 is when I started watching, and then September of 2019 is when I made this account. So, the Eris of Chaos.
The Eris of Chaos account.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So,
if they Arwen Avalon says if they insisted on making the Doctor a chick, she should have at least been a ginger. But no.
Yeah, the ginger thing, he's always talking about how much he wanted to be like a ginger, and I thought it was funny. I thought they should have done Tom Hiddleston as like a ginger. Or like if they were gonna do it like the woman thing would have been funny. Like, oh look, I'm finally a ginger, and then like, oh shit. Because Matt Smith had this great moment where he like saw how long his hair was, which is really not that long. It's shorter than mine. And he was like, I'm a girl. And then he's just like, never mind, I am not. It's funny. It's a funny first episode.
Mexican Iron Man throws in a $9.99 super chat and says, "Hail the great Eris. I'm still laughing from that Saturday show. Most certainly must see YouTube. You were excellent. Thanks for all you do in making Valhalla so awesome." Thank you, Mexican Iron Man, for that $9.99 super chat. You guys keep the fires burning bright in Valhalla, and we're going to give you one I know you like, brother. Skol!
Spartans! What is your profession?
So I know how I met you. But I know a lot of people out there probably don't. Where did we meet?
The origins of Loki and Eris meeting. We met in a little place called Xanadu.
Over Doomcox. Over Doomcox.
Long time ago. Feels like it was fucking years ago. It was really just like it was that September. Because I wanted to actually get involved with the fandom more. So I made this account. And I was watching his shit at that point. And I joined his community.
And then we ran into each other. And eventually you came over here and started hanging out in Valhalla. And you decided you had been talking about doing a channel. You were talking about creating a channel.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think I had time. I didn't think like any of that funny. I know, right? I didn't think I had the time. I didn't think I had like I didn't know what I'd talk about. I like talking. Anybody that I've been told to shut up so many times because I don't stop talking. But like
You're a chatterbox.
yeah, I'm a chatterbox. Once you get to know me, so I'm that really shy introverted person. I'm like that introvert when you first meet me, and then like once we're friends, I don't shut up. I do not. So
Perfect
as you
for
can probably
YouTube.
gather.
Perfect
Yeah.
for YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, I also have like this stage fright thing. So I just couldn't. I was on that ledge and I just couldn't get over it. And then this guy decided to kick my ass.
Push you off the ledge.
We'll do this.
If you're
Stop
holding
talking
back,
about it,
why are
just
you?
do it.
Yeah, stop talking about it. Just do it. I wonder who that could have been. What? I know you talk Doctor Who, but what IPs do you absolutely love? What are the IPs? Yeah, Ben Helsing. Yeah.
Not Van.
Helsing.
Just Helsing Ultimate.
Well, Van Helsing. I'm so used to saying Van Helsing because of who Van Helsing is. Van Helsing was the guy that hunted down Dracula. Obviously, Helsing, different aspect. But what besides what we've already talked about, Doctor Who, Helsing Ultimate. What are your loves in the fandom?
Wonder Woman, and then Hogwarts. I like Harry Potter. I have V for Vendetta up there. Iron Man, Deadpool. Deadpool's been played out so much, it's like annoying. Obviously, I like the MCU. I'm just looking around my room. I love horror movies.
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Yeah, I'm circling around. Yeah, my Star Trek stuff is kind of hidden around my monitor at the moment. But yeah, I absolutely. Yeah, I love Star Trek. Was the first one I've gotten into all three, the trinity of the big sci-fi franchises. But do you want to do the skull before I continue?
Sure. Go13, aka Brandon the Infant Wolf, with a $2 super chat. Says modern Doctor Who. Verdict, guilty. Sentence, headshot. Thank you so very much, Go13, Brandon the Infinite Wolf, for that $2 super chat. You guys keep the fires burning bright in Valhalla. Skull! So what got you into Star Trek?
Oh my god. So every single, and I'm actually going to tell each one of these stories because they're all funny. Every single one of the big three of sci-fi I got into right before they died. And I it's kind of something that I just kind of look back and I don't know how I managed to time all of that. But Star Trek I got into after the 2009 movie and before Into Darkness.
Okay.
Don't
tell me that 2009 brought you into Star Trek.
It did.
Oh,
that's why I defend it a bit, because it did its job. It's not a good movie, but it did its job as a reboot because it brought me in. I was not interested in Star Trek before. So it brought me in initially, and then I watched like the original movies. And that's because of my dad. I was sitting on the couch, and he was sitting on a chair, and I think I'd seen it recently, and we were watching TV, and a fucking Priceline commercial comes on, and my dad's like, "That's the original Captain Kirk, that negotiator guy that you love so much. Yeah, that's the original Captain Kirk." And I like fell off the couch. I was laughing so hard, and so we sat down, and my whole family watched The Wrath of Khan. Yeah. And I was crying like a little baby at the end, like you do. I didn't know really anything about these characters, and it made me cry. I can only imagine what it was like for people.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
scene with Spock is just, it's legendary. They did such a perfect job with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
And-
that Wrath of Khan, of course, nobody knows who that movie is. As Clobbering says, nobody knows what Wrath of Khan is. Nobody's ever seen it. It's that hidden gem in Star Trek that nobody's ever seen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Strangely enough, there were a lot of people that I knew when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, that had not seen that movie. Everyone saw 4, The Voyage Home with the whales, but a lot of people hadn't seen Wrath of Khan. So when you introduced them to Wrath of Khan, they wanted to see more movies. They wanted to see more movies than just 4. I knew a lot of people that had only seen 4. A lot of friends that are like, yeah, the one with the whales, yeah. Because everybody saw the one with the whales.
I think I might have. I don't even know. I might have my timeline wrong. Because that's the timeline that I remember. But I also remember watching the 4th one because that was my mom's favorite. So I don't know. Maybe I watched that. I just don't think I considered it. I didn't put that in the Star Trek category in my mind. Because that was the only thing I guess seen at that time, maybe. And it's just a movie about all these guys. And whales. So it doesn't mean anything if you watch that first. Like, we don't know what's going on.
And the gesture of sin with a 5-pound super chat. So everything Eris got into died. Is she
wait.
the curse on the fandom? Are we all doomed? Is the sky falling again?
Wait till I tell you my Star Wars story.
Thank you so very much, Gesture of Sin, for that $5 super chat. You all keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright. Skull!
Oh.
A dollar? I've never seen a dollar. Nobody's got a dollar. Let us see the dollar. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
Thank you guys so much. Purple Valkyrie still miss Leonard Nimoy. Leonard was such a great actor.
I was sitting on my bed in my college dorm crying when my mom called me and told me the news, and I just sat down on my bed and cried. Yeah. Oh my god, everyone's first move.
That four brought people in. He gave me a pill and I grew a new kidney. Doctor gave me a pill and I grew a new kidney. Fully functional. Yeah. God, that was the funniest damn scene in that movie. What's wrong with you? Kidney dialysis. What is this? Dark Ages here. You take this pill, and if you have any problems, give me a call. And she just smiles and takes it.
The best. Bones is my favorite. I would have to say it's like I say Spock's my favorite, but then I remember Bones, and I'm like, but I'm so much like Bones. Like that's the character I would have been, because like I absolutely love him to death. Oh my goodness.
Chris Persia with a $5 Canadian super sticker, and it is a Shiba Emu in a suit. Give me the thumbs up. Saying good job. You love those Shiba Emus, don't you? You're always sending Shiba Emus. Thank you so much, Chris Persia, for that $5 super sticker. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. Skull! Captain Spire Star Trek 3 was my first, and I was devastated when the Enterprise exploded. Yes.
Yeah,
that was the first one I saw in theaters.
I watched 2, and then my dad was like, okay, let's go to bed. So I was like, no, we have to watch 3. I saw the name of it. It said search for Spock. They have to bring him back. Double dumbass.
Yes, double dumbass on you. It's just the way these people talk here. Yeah, Shatner. It's just the way they talk.
Spock trying to swear was the best thing. So I love that so much.
The hell they did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Too much LDS at Berkeley. Yeah.
All right. So then I got into Doctor Who. So I was in college and I had tickets to go see a football game. And the 50th Doctor Who anniversary was on, and I also got invited to. Technically, she was a dorm mate. I guess she lived down the hall, and she and I were always button heads about what was better, Doctor Who or Star Trek. And I decided to go with them. I was like, I'll go watch Doctor Who instead of watching football. I can watch football on TV, whatever. So I actually watched that as it aired for the first time, the 50th anniversary. That was my introduction to Doctor Who. Very strange episode to start on. They were freaking out. They told me I wasn't allowed to talk and ask questions while it was going. I had to wait for commercial breaks. I gave up after the first commercial break because I realized that there was no way they could tell me everything. I kind of just needed to watch it. So, yeah, I was like, fine, I'll watch it. And they told me I had to, because I thought Matt Smith was kind of cute. And I wanted to start with his doctor, and they told me I had to earn that. I had to start with Rose, and I tried watching that episode like 4 times, and I could never finish it because I didn't like Rose as a character. I ended up just saying fuck it, and I started with the 11th anyway. So, but right after that is when the Capaldi Clara shit started. And I would say that the 50th anniversary, I think, actually marks the end of Doctor Who. That's just my opinion, though. And that's not on Capaldi. That is entirely on the writing staff and how they wrote Clara. Are you sure it isn't time for a colorful metaphor? I love colorful metaphors, and I'm glad he does too.
The Christmas episodes used to be such a big event. Missed the excitement from the fans looking forward to them.
Yeah, it started snowing. It was funny. It was like this magical thing. Like it hadn't snowed at all. And it started snowing where I went to college at. When the episode started airing. It was really weird. Yeah. I thought it was good. I liked it a lot.
Mark says the first doctor for him was Peter Davidson, the best doctor ever.
I haven't watched Classic, all of Classic. I'm in the middle of watching the lost episodes of the first Doctor. The ones that they don't actually have the film for anymore, but they have the audio and just like pictures. Yeah, that's what I've been watching.
The first Who I ever watched was the first 2 seasons, the original black and white first 2 seasons, and I was in junior high, and I was helping a teacher because my dad was a history teacher at that point, but I was helping. God, I can't even remember her name. No,
I think you've told the story before. I don't remember her name.
I have.
Yeah.
And Miss McCormick, that was her name, Miss McCormick, and she was from across the pond. She was from Austria, either Austria or Germany, but she had 2 box sets, and they look like the TARDIS. They look like the police box.
Oh, that's so cool.
And of course, we're talking VHS. We're talking, film.
I know what VHS is. I grew up on VHS when I was a kid.
Okay. VHS box sets, and they both looked exactly the same. And I thought she had 2 of them. She goes, "No, that one's season 1 and that one's season 2, original Doctor Who." And I was like, "What's Doctor Who?"
Slightly different.
And she was like, "Oh, you don't know what Doctor Who is?" I'm like, "No, I have no idea what the hell Doctor Who is. I don't watch, UK TV.
You've got British things. I'm an American.
Yeah, I'm an American. I'm proud American. I'm an American.
Watch the mother country grows.
I remember my dad being like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, Miss McCormick let me borrow them. They're apparently something called Doctor Who." And he goes, "You're not gonna like them." Just like that. He goes, "You're not gonna like them." And I was like, "Really?"
Were you into Star Trek at that point?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was hardcore into Star Trek. I've been into Star Trek since I was a wee little.
Oh, you said like when you were like 5, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Even before that, because it was he would come home and we would watch Star Trek. He'd come home from being on deployment on an aircraft carrier, and I'd get to sit on his knee and watch Star Trek. We'd watch Star Trek late at night when it was on because we didn't have players and shit back then. That they had like Betamax and shit. So I don't think
Oh my
VHS
God.
was a big thing yet.
Dating yourself. Wow.
But yeah, so I watched them over the course of the summer, and I never bothered with it again. I gave them back to her the next year, and it was one of those things I never even thought about again until I got back into the fandom. So.
Yeah, advice from someone who went into Doctor Who being a Star Trek fan, because a lot of people are like that. I actually talked to NB Geek about that too once. He was the same way, and my advice is, I had to start. 11 is like a soft reboot because it started being popular. Doctor Who started getting really popular with Tennant for obvious reasons, because David Tennant is David Tennant. I don't know if I have to really explain that. Okay, how about I put it this way? Teenage girls and women in general really like David Tennant. And they really liked the 10th Doctor, and it started getting popular with the 10th Doctor because of that. And when they brought 11 on, they kind of did it in a way. His opener is kind of like a soft reboot in a way. It's not a reboot, but it's with the knowledge that it's not just British people watching anymore. It's a lot more of the American audience had started to come into the fandom. And it's because they had a young male lead. Shocker of the century. Women are going to like, good-looking men. Just like men are going to like good-looking women. I know. Generally speaking, that's how it is. But if you have a good-looking person on the screen, pretty much everyone likes it. So that's just how it is. And the BBC understood that, and they brought him in. And a lot of the fandom, especially like the very shallow Doctor Who fandom, started to leave when Capaldi came in, because he's the complete opposite. Like, Matt Smith was like the youngest, I think, that they brought in. I think Capaldi was one of the older ones. I liked him because he was, Capaldi's great. I love him as an actor. He's absolutely fantastic. And he got to live his dream because he wanted to be the Doctor. They actually found a fan letter from him when he was a little kid writing into like this magazine doing Doctor Who stuff. Like, he's been a fan his whole life, and he finally got to do it. But I got in right into 11, and 11, that 11th hour episode is absolutely perfect if you, for Trekkies when you're initially getting in. So that's just me, though. I thought that was perfect. Damn, the secret is out. I know. People like good-looking people. I know. It's a shocker.
And Larry brings up Monty Python too. Yeah, he actually told me I wouldn't like that either.
Monty Python's great. I love
Monty
it.
Python and the Holy Grail. I think on the recommendation of one of my teachers at the time.
Oh,
and he was like, "You're not gonna like that. You're not gonna like it." I thought it was fucking hilarious.
We watched it. My art teacher in high school. She didn't know what to give us for our final because like we had that dedicated final time, right? Or that midterm final time. And like in my high school, when you had to do midterms, but if you had good enough grades and you met these other criteria, you could skip finals at the end of the year. And I always made sure I did that because fuck finals. And so for the midterm, because our midterm was a project that we handed in, like we didn't actually have a test or anything because it's art class. She sat us down and was like, okay, we're going to watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And that is y'all's final. Whatever. That's how I got introduced to Monty Python. So.
Andrew 46 and 2. My dad loved Star Trek, but hated Who, so I didn't watch it till I got older. Pretty much the same thing happened to me. Anything British humor or British TV, he didn't like. So it was like, British you're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like this. And you're not gonna think this is funny and blah blah blah. But I did.
I love British humor
for different folks.
Australian humor is fantastic. I absolutely love Australian humor. I like that dry wit, that really dry, like almost serious, but clearly not serious. I love that kind of humor. So, and then, all right, I'm going to get into my Star Wars story. This is going to drive y'all crazy. Really? You liked Rose? I mean, she is pretty. I think she looks better as a brunette, personally, than a blonde. But that's just me. Anyway, okay, so my Star Wars story. I think I was at the hospital. Not for me, it was for somebody else. And I got the news that Carrie Fisher had died. And I wasn't I'd seen all the Star Wars movies. We had the VHS pre-special edition movies I'd watched like my entire life.
The THX version?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Has the giant like
yep.
Yeah. And I found the movie online. I don't remember what streaming. I don't remember what it was, but like this was around, what was it, 2016 is when she died? 2017? I don't remember. It was a year before The Last Jedi came out. Yes. Whatever year that was. And I was watching it, and it's like I hadn't really watched it since I was a kid. And there's so much more to those movies that you don't see when you're a kid. Like the dialogue is so clever. It's so cleverly written. I love it. And the actors and the characters just jump off the screen. They're larger than life. I love Leia. Leia was amazing. Her wit, I was just like, yes, I love it. I love her sass. I love all of that, you know. Darth Vader, I love the fact that every piece of him is to help him live and survive because he can't function on his own. Except for the cape. There is no reason that man should be wearing a cape, but he's doing it anyway for dramatic purposes. And I can relate to that. So I got really into the fandom, and then The Last Jedi came out a year later, and that was the first time I had seen a Star Wars movie in theaters, and I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knew what to do with themselves. They all left shocked.
I was in such denial. I was in deep denial. And I don't even remember how I got out of it. Force Awakens. Maybe I saw Force Awakens in the theaters. I don't remember specifically. Anyway, Last Jedi was the first movie I'd seen right after I joined the fandom of Star Wars, and
deep hardcore Star Wars fans, especially ones that had grown up with it and had kids. Of course, they're going to take their kids to see a Star Wars movie. Of course, they're going to take their kids to see what happens with Star Wars. And it felt like after The Last Jedi, we just don't care about you anymore. And we don't care whether you like it or not. We don't care. We're going to call you all man babies. We're going to call you all filth because you don't like this movie. We're going to treat you like you are third-class citizens because you dare speak up of how you didn't like this movie. And I think if it hadn't have been for the hubris of the Gerber baby, Rian Johnson, I don't think that there would be such hatred for Star Wars under Disney that there is, because it was a giant attack on the fans. How dare you not like Star Wars? How dare you not like my take on Star Wars? How dare you not like my movie? How dare you sit there and say that we didn't know what we were doing when they didn't? How dare you say we didn't have all this planned out? Who do you take us for?
My name's JJ, and guess what? We didn't have this all planned out.
It's like, okay, if you watch those three movies as a trilogy, it makes absolutely no fucking sense. They didn't have it planned out, and it's obvious. I don't need them to tell me that happened, because I can sit there and watch all three movies and tell you this is not a coherent trilogy. They did not sit down and plan this shit out like a trilogy, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't even know. Did George Lucas plan to have a trilogy, because I think he just released it under the title Star Wars initially, right? A New Hope came after that.
He had written, okay, this is, from my understanding, this is how it worked. George wrote a kind of like a setup for 1, 2, and 3. He looked at it though and realized there's no way I'm going to be able to do what these epic sci-fi scenes, these visual effects. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that. It's not going to work. But I can write what happened after that. So he set to work writing.
He wrote the prequels, and then he actually wrote what happened after that.
He didn't fully write the prequels, but he had an idea. He outlined it and had an idea of what he was going to do, and then was like, "Well, there's no way I can do this." And he wrote an outline for 4, 5, and 6. 5, Empire was supposed to be a completely different movie. That when the studio took over, they were like, "No, we're not doing this. Let's do this." And good for them, because Empire ended up being, to me anyway, the best movie they did.
That's my favorite. What was it supposed to be, out of curiosity?
Shadows of Mindor. If you've ever read the book Shadows of Mindor, I think it's Shadows of Mindor.
Is it the EU? Like, is that EU shit? I haven't gotten
into
EU
it's
yet.
A book. I think that's the name of it. It's early, so if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, please correct me.
Early. This is
Shadow
the
of the
time
Mind's
you
Eye.
worked.
It might be Shadows of the Mind's Eye. But anyway, what it was going to be like a movie in a cave. It's going to be a movie in a cave. So, I think it's Shadows of the Mind's Eye.
The Descent meets Star Wars. Okay.
So, it was going to be a different movie, and they were like, "No, we're not doing that."
Oh, is this the first time studio interference actually saved a movie? Oh my god!
So they had other people come along and rewrite things. And Splinter of the Mind's Eye, Shadows of Mindor. Thank you. It's Splinter of the Mind's Eye. But that ended up eventually being a book, and a good book.
Okay.
It's just, it would not have made, I don't think it would have made a good movie, not like Empire.
No. Yeah, it kind of like imagining Empire, but in a cave. I don't know, like that's. But yeah,
Splinter is still good. Yeah, Psychodorf 9. Splinter, it is. Both of those books are good.
But like working as far as that story, I don't know. It just being in a cave is throwing me off super hard. So,
you've actually got 2 scenes where they're in a cave in Empire. You've got the Ice Wampa, and then you've got Dagobah, the Luke scene on Dagobah where he fights.
I'm just talking about purely in a cave. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of iconic scenes in Empire that I don't know.
The cave is collapsing. This is no cave. So 3.
God.
Yeah, even more than 2.
Yes, 3 is more than 2, Loki.
So, and yes, Darth Maul. Yes, I'm going to be on with Latino slant later. And you've got some stuff coming up, but we're not quite there yet.
There's like 16 minutes left. Don't get rid of me now.
No, I'm not getting ready now. So, favorite fandom. We've got more questions. Favorite fandom.
I don't know.
You could only pick one if you could only pick one to save. Only pick one to save. What's going to be your pick? And chat, throw out your pick too. By all means, chat, throw out your pick. If you could only save one IP and all the IPs that you love and all the shows that you love and all the things you care about, what would it be? Let us know in chat while Eris is contemplating the existence of her favorite IP.
I don't know. It changes, man.
Well, right now, you gotta tell right now if you could only save one. You gotta pick one.
Does it include all of it?
Well, yeah, you can decide whatever you want to. If you want like the first 6 movies in Star Wars, that's fine. Star Trek, whatever.
Well, at this very moment, because like it could fucking change very easily. I don't.
But also
want this
remember,
to be,
you got like Harry Potter, and you've got V for Vendetta.
I know. Yeah. It sucks. I don't even know if I can answer that if I only had one. I don't know, because like it does change. I go into these phases where I have an itch to watch Doctor Who, or I have an itch to watch Star Trek, or I want to watch the Star Wars movies again. I want to go through and watch all the Alien franchise. I want to torture myself and try to sit through every single Children of the Corn movie because I do like laughing at bad movies, or I want to watch the MCU again and watch only the good ones, or I don't. I could have guessed that one. Was it Is it Aaron or Arwen?
I believe it's Arwen. Arwen Avalon.
Okay. Arwen, yeah. I could have guessed that one. It depends if she'll turn on the camera again. Why would it depend on that? I don't. I can only save one. God
You
damn
only
it.
save one. To me, it's an easy
Is yours
pick.
It's gonna be
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I grew up reading Tolkien. I loved seeing the movies come to life with Ian McKellen. I loved getting to see all that, and I hated it too because a lot of people were asking me questions because they didn't know, and I was like, man, it kind of sucks that I know everything that's gonna happen, but they threw in surprises. Like the elves never show up at Helm's Deep in the books, and that's one of the best parts of Helm's Deep. The movie Helm's Deep to me is the Two Towers is having the elves show up. That was a bit. We've come to honor our alliance. I was almost in tears. That was a beautiful addition that Peter Jackson did to Lord of the Rings, was having the elves show up, and we once had an alliance with men and dwarves, and we are here to honor that. That's just fucking brilliant idea by Peter Jackson to do that. I love that. So yeah, Tolkien. It's going to be Lord of the Rings. As much as I love Star Trek and Star Wars and sci-fi and grew up loving that, yeah, it's Tolkien. Tolkien took me to another world in literature, and I think he was the first one to do that. So, but yeah, you got to pick one. Just pick one. Just pick one.
Loki! I don't know. You're mean. I don't know.
You're going to have to trust me.
This is a trap. That's what this is.
Hashtag save Middle Earth. Yes.
I didn't get super hardcore into. I've seen on the Lord of the Rings. I've seen all the movies, including the Hobbit movies, which after I found out how big the fucking book was, made me mad. That they split into 3 movies. I'm stuck between Doctor Who and Star Trek. I don't know if I can.
There can be only one. Chris Persia, yes. Highlander! Anyway.
I don't know. I'm stuck between Doctor Who and Star Trek.
Only one.
Okay. All right, I might choose Doctor Who.
All right, Doctor Who.
Just at this very moment, it could literally change in 2 seconds.
But why? Tell us why.
There's so much more with Doctor Who. Like, in Star Trek, I've also not seen all of Star Trek. So I guess that's another reason. I've seen all the TOS stuff, but like there's so much more, and I guess I don't know what I would be giving up because I haven't watched it all. Whereas like I've watched a lot of Doctor Who and I've rewatched and rewatched and rewatched.
Rogan Entertainment chooses Warhammer. Yes. Oldstone.
I have more Star Trek stuff than I do Doctor Who stuff.
Doesn't matter. It's just what you like, what you want to save. I think you're thinking too much into it.
Yeah, it's like I'm actually like putting myself in a mental scenario where everything else burns and I never get to see it again, and I'm just like, no, I don't know what I would do if that happened.
And yes, Barton Entertainment, I agree with you. Anyone that fucks with 40K can get bent. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, so at least you can cross in the truck via the TARDIS. You know what? That's a good point.
Yep.
So I'll choose that for right now.
So, if you could say anything before we get to our final moment here, if you could say anything to the people that are generally bending over the IPs we love and sticking it to them, destroying them.
Okay. I was like, I don't know where you're going with this.
What would you tell them if you could tell them anything? The people that are destroying our IPs, the people that are saying this is mine now, not yours, and basically making it like, you know, they're inserting themselves into the story, they're inserting their ideals into the fandom. What would you tell them?
Okay, so if you want to write, you want to self-insert, write some fanfic. Like, go on and write some fanfic. Like, you don't need to actually, like, I know that y'all are like super narcissistic and you want to make yourself canon. You want to make your head canon and your fanfic canon, but like, I don't know, you don't need to do that. Like, you have all of this creativity, and like, once you get it out, once you get all that shit out of your system, and like, oh, you know, I want to watch Star Trek and whatever, and just get it out of your system, I feel like that opens doors for you creatively that you wouldn't have before. Like, all of this creative energy and all of this time and all of this, like, it could be poured into creating something new, creating the next Star Trek, creating the next Star Wars, you know? It's like, just like, at this point, we need to stop doing reboots and sequels and whatever, remakes, and just making new things. Like, none of this stuff is going to be saved. And the only way it will be saved is with time and distancing yourself from that IP. Like, you gotta cut it off, like, put it on hiatus, and then do something different. Because, like, there is no way, I don't see this, like, anything coming back. Maybe from, like, people that write books on it and stuff, but I don't see it. I don't see these people actually doing this for good anymore. They're like I said, self-inserting. They're making real life fanfic out of what is happening on the actual show and making it canon, like, for narcissistic tendencies. And I just wish they would use all of that energy on just write your fanfic privately, post it on fanfiction.net, archive of our own, whatever you want to put it on. I don't really care. And then once you get that out, just focus on making new things. Because we desperately need new things. Do you know how, like, much of a breath of fresh air Invincible was? Some people didn't like the gore. I don't mind it because I'm a big horror movie fan. But it was so just, oh my god, there's something different. I know that used to be a comic book, but, like, at least there's something different happening. Something new, something good. And I'm so sick of these fucking...
Something that's relatable enough, because Invincible was very relatable. As you were watching that first episode, you're like, oh, so this is like Superman. Oh, so this is like the Justice League. Oh, this is what I see where they're going. This is like, what if Superman had a kid? But then you realize that as close as it touches on things that we know, it's going in a completely different direction.
By the end of the first episode, you know that. So, I don't know. I really hate this idea that, like, people who don't care got a hold. Like, they don't care, but they care enough to write about it. You know what I mean? It's like bad fanfic. That's all that is. It's just bad fanfic that they self-insert. We were talking about this last night on the roundtable. Tom King is once again writing something. He's writing Supergirl, and his face is on Supergirl. You can compare. And that's all he's doing, is he's self-inserting as a woman. He's being the main female character in there. And then, you know, whatever happens after that, it's the first issue. I don't know. But we know what happens. He did that with Catwoman.
Yes.
He inserted himself as Catwoman, you know, trying to marry, you know, Bruce.
It is something you can't unsee, folks, once you see it. If you pull up a picture of Tom King, pull up the picture of when Bruce Wayne proposes to Catwoman, and then pull up a picture of the cover of the new Supergirl comic. And yes,
it's the same person.
It's yes.
So I just
And speaking of new IPs, Dega Outlaw, give your money, your
Yes.
attention, and time only to the worthy. The fools, fakes, and frauds of those who bought old IP thought they bought you as well. Prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Buy good. Let the rest die. Also, Adega has come out with some amazing material.
Yes,
If you do
go
not have
read.
Evolution, guys, and you can find it maybe used, you can figure out how to get a copy of it, however you have to do it, because it's not on Amazon, but it will be being re-released from my understanding. I don't want to go into everything I know about that yet because I don't know if Dega is if I can talk
You know
about it.
all the secrets. Oh my
I can
goodness.
talk about it, but I'm not saying I know any secrets. I'm just saying I don't know if I can talk about it. Deny everything. So tell us before we get out of here today what you've got going on later today.
Okay, well, I'll start off with my usual Saturday stream. My Saturday stream is 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's called Afternoon Discord and Delight. Josh from Project Storytime and I are usually on. He was out last week because I was vacationing with
Who did you have on
or
last week?
something. And last week I had on Lady Gravemaster, Mary Mayhem, and Mandy Summers.
Awesome. That must have been chaotic as hell.
It was so much fun.
Awesome ladies all around.
They are
absolutely awesome.
I absolutely love them all. I feel it's funny. Like I get a very like big sister vibe from them, and I don't have an older sibling, so it's fun. I love it.
But tonight, what do you got going on tonight?
So tonight, after the show, they invited me on to the Babedom Menace monthly show. So I will be a guest tonight on the Babedom Menace with them.
That
and
is
really amazing.
That
people.
is absolutely awesome. So you're going to be on the Babedom Menace tonight. What time?
They didn't tell me. I did
7:30
research.
PM?
I think it's supposed to be 7:30 p.m. CST. I think so. I'm pretty sure. I probably should have asked. But yeah, they invited me, and I'm very humbled by it, and yay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for being here. Thank you so very much, Eris, for being a part of Women of the Fandom on our Wednesday stream. Guys, later tonight, we're going to be doing a game stream. As always, we'll start at 6. We're going to end about 7:30 because I also have a stream tonight, which will be over on Latino Slants channel, Paulie's channel, and we're going to be talking about the 5 best Robert Rodriguez films of all time. Paulie did a questionnaire on Twitter to find out what the 5 best movies were. People voted. These are the results. Top of that list is, of course, Desperado, which would be my pick for his #1 movie of all time. Hop in, find out, let us know what yours is. Let us know what your favorite Robert Rodriguez film is. We're going to have a fun time. Mandy Summers will be on that later tonight. So I hope that you all have a great Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more Mornings of Mischief. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow, but trust me, whatever we do, it's going to be fun as hell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you all so very much for all the love that you have shown in chat. A whole bunch of hearts. Thank you, Eris.
Thank you for coming and just supporting me. And I don't know what to do with all of you supporting me. I never expected to have like maybe 10 people, but there's so many of y'all, and I love y'all. Thank you.
Mark has been throwing out your channel link since we started. So guys, that link is in the channel. Subscribe. Chris Persia just threw it out. Subscribe to Eris of Chaos. Thank you all so very much. And do not forget that Purple Valkyrie rides in 1 hour. She will start her show at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So that'll be in 1 hour. Thank you all so very much for being here. Everyone, continue to be excellent to each other and party on.
Bye.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.